954 days. 954 days since Richard vanished from the barracks there at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. And he didn't just vanish, something happened. And I will tell you, when we called to find out why our son hadn't contacted us, they already knew. They already knew about the child sex trafficking. They already knew about the human trafficking. They already knew about the IG being all over the barracks because of Halliday. They already knew about the porn, the child sex porn. They already knew about all the porn. They already knew, and there is a huge group, huge population that thinks porn is consensual. Okay? That it's okay to have porn. It's consensual. Um, Y'all, I don't believe that for a minute. And I always thought there's something that's really stinky when it comes to porn. I always thought that because I know through my history being German and losing my grandfather in World War II, my mother not having a father. She was just weeks old when he was shot and killed, shot in the stomach and killed on the Russian front, and put into a mass grave, a horrible, horrible situation. Um, and my Oma was a widow with children. A terrible situation in a country that was designed to be the losing country. It's designed, y'all. And we know that these are all operational orders, and I could go into all that history of that. But I knew that one of the weapons that they used against the Germans in World War II is porn. Okay, big time porn. And so it is always a national security threat when porn is used and is spreading like crazy in a country. It's a very big problem in Japan. It's very, very big problem. It's killing their beautiful, absolutely beautiful country. And you can trace it back to, of course, you trace it back to faith and self-government, but very near the main source is porn as the weapon, the main weapon. What went wrong, and why are they having so many problems? So porn is a weapon, very clear. It's still being used in Germany. It's being used everywhere. And of course, then it leads to child sex trafficking. If you support porn, you support child sex trafficking. You can't have one without the other. And it can get pretty ugly. It can involve our animals. It can involve, it really can get very, very ugly. And so it is a mixture then into these doggy sex cults um, that seep in even into our military. It is allowed to seep into the military. And do not tell me that this colonel that was a major leader in this doggy sex cult, that they did not know what he was up to. Okay? A colonel, that is, he has to go through a lot of security um, looks to make sure that he can have top secret security. A colonel? Okay, they knew what he was up to. So they allowed this sex cult to flourish. They allowed our soldiers to be targets for this sex cult, to be groomed for this sex cult. Do you understand? This is a huge, huge crime. And then to create porn. I mean, this colonel, what all did he create? He was pretty handy with the camera. I mean, he took a picture, and it must have been somebody else, or he set it on something. I don't know. Somebody else must have taken this picture. I don't know. Where he is showing his erection in uniform on our beautiful installations, in our beautiful uniforms, in our gymnasiums, everything that we have given them to support them to in the defense of our country, in the defense of our Constitution. And what is he doing? He is literally giving us his erection. And telling us that, wow, it's just so sad that I'm retiring. Well, I'm happy I'm retiring or whatever. And anyway, go look into it. It's pretty devastating to our national security, and shows you what kind of porn is he making. What is he broadcasting? He seems to like to broadcast his sex cult fetishes. So this is a big problem because Richard was not okay with this stuff. Richard was not okay with pimping out young mothers. Richard is not okay with child sex trafficking. Richard is not okay with human trafficking. Richard is not okay with child sex porn being produced and sold and broadcasted and airdropped to people's phones. And this is a very, very big deal, and it really makes the military look bad. I understand that. I just got banned. I just got banned for well, I'll show you what I got banned for. You're going to be amazed at what I got banned for. Here we are. This is what
over.
I got banned for.
Their reign will be over. And they know it. And America will be a free nation once again. We're not a free nation right now. We don't have free press. We don't have free anything. In 2016, I declared, I am your voice. Today I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution. Not going to let this happen.
So I got banned for posting that up on a site, and I think, wow, okay, because we need justice. We need someone to be our retribution. We need someone to be our justice. We need someone to be to fight for us, to do what is right. And I also posted this just so people know that I'm looking at all sides. Here's Kim.com. He is saying, because CPAC just ended, so it's been going on this weekend. I think the last few days, and I really would have loved to go. We decided against it for certain reasons, but I watched quite a bit of it. And Kim.com, of course, that's his job, and he says, I don't expect much from Trump. Now, my husband just wrote a certified letter to President Trump to see if he would meet with us, if he would stick to I am your retribution, I am your justice. If he has that kind of power, if he has that kind of connections, because it's all about who you know, right? And even then, this is a huge business plan that is being exposed. Child sex pornography trafficking is a huge business plan. It is the number one. I think human trafficking is the number one business money maker right now. Beats illegal drugs, even though the barracks has that too, right? The posts, the installations have that too. They have their fingers in everything. The sales of our secrets, weapons, leaving behind our equipment. I think that's absolutely criminal, especially our very coveted night vision technology that they left behind. They don't care about the pocketbooks of the American taxpayer. And I'll also say this, one thing that was talked about at CPAC is that and I think it was by President Trump, our veterans are not in good shape, y'all. They have been so abused. They've been hostages. Okay, so they've been hostages. They've been retaliated against, waterless waterboarding, continuously, severely. They have been continuously under psyops to be hypnotized. They've been totally under bad healthcare advice and treatment, which, I'm talking about the Cobra Strike here, these mandates. That's what I'm talking about here. Then they, of course, and also the mental health illness with all the mental health medication that is so hard to get off once you're on there. It's so hard, y'all. It just destroys a person. It's so hard. This whole PTSD thing is so difficult. So, absolutely, our veterans are not in good shape. They're leaving the military as soon as they possibly can. The military has a really big problem with holding on to any of their service members. Are having problems with warrant officers right now because there's such a shortage of them for good reason. Who wants to be serving foreign and domestic enemies? Who wants to be retaliated against continuously, severely to serve foreign and domestic enemies, or to be hoodwinked, to be hypnotized, to be psychologically manipulated to think otherwise, but find out through very bad situations that you are serving foreign and domestic enemies, and that the 44 four-star generals do not have your back, do not have your six, will sell you out in an instant, will groom you out in an instant, and take away your rights, your civil rights. So, who would want to join, right? And so many of these veterans end up homeless. They're sleeping outside. I think the words were with their cheek to the concrete. And while we have illegal migrants that are let in, and they are given 4 or 5-star hotels paid for by the American taxpayer. If people don't see what's wrong with that, wow, they just don't understand. So I think that was a really good point. Our service members, they need to be helped. They cannot, a lot of times when they get out, the mental strain that they have been under, the mental illness, the stress of being retaliated against, the waterless waterboarding, the drugs, the alcohol, the frat parties every day, the rapes, the witnessing of rapes, the witnessing of so much porn, the child porn trafficking, all of this stuff really demoralizes a person, puts them in a very bad situation, and that's why we have this veterans problem. And so, I was saying yesterday that if Richard ever did make it through this, which I want to make it clear, at this time, with all the information that we have, I do not believe that Richard is alive. But do I hold hope that he is? I do. And if he makes it through this, I've always thought about, what would happen? What would we think? How would we handle it? And I am of the opinion now that I would handle it like he has been a released hostage. a prisoner of war, because war has been declared on us by these foreign and domestic enemies, by and with and our 44 four-star generals and admirals that have betrayed us, that have committed treason, that have committed crimes against humanity, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, okay? And that's why the absolute there, I think President Trump did address this also. I know he did talk a lot about Afghanistan, and I think he should have talked about Benghazi too, because um, so many crimes have been committed, and purposely they have been so successful, these criminal 44 four-star generals, General Garrett, General McConville, General Mealy, right? They are just so criminal. They're the worst types of criminal. Do not be hypnotized by their charm. They go to charm school. I don't know if you know that, but they go to charm school. When they make general, they go to charm school. So they're very charming. They know how to handle the politics. They become politicians. And so I just want to let you know that. They know, they have everything that we've given them. All the lawyers around them telling them what to say, and they have the press, and they have everything. They have everything. And so, do not be hypnotized by them. They are absolutely the worst type of criminals, and they have betrayed us, and they have conducted military operations against us, even yours truly. They've conducted military operations against us. They have committed asymmetric warfare tactics against us. They have committed crimes against humanity against us. This is war. This is a Trojan horse, or worse than a Trojan horse, because it's our own that have put on those beautiful uniforms with the 4 stars that are coming out to attack us with the tools that we've entrusted to them, that we've paid for, and they've weaponized them, and they are using them against us. And this is very, very clear. And I know that this kept very close attention during 2019, and of what was going on around President Trump at the time, and absolutely they were weaponizing everything against him. But I'm telling you, I look at all my options. I like to listen to what other people say, and I know things that he's done. I know he's just human. He's not the Trinity, okay? He's not the Trinity. He is just one man. And so Kim.com says, I don't expect much from Trump. Okay? I don't expect much. I don't expect him to answer our letter. If he does, he will get our energy to fully support him during this 2024 run. Absolutely. He might not want my support because I say the germ theory is trash, and I know that he likes the germ theory. Maybe he doesn't, because I just heard that he met in 2017 with Bill Gates and talked about the Cobra strikes, all of the Cobra strikes, not just this COVID-19 COVID strike, and the effects of those on our population, causing many illnesses, including autism, which is, I worked with children with autism. And so I absolutely know, keep up with the numbers. South Korea is really, really in pain with, not only are they low population, but they have a very high rate of autism, which is just, it's so destructive of a country. And our birth rate is going down also. And then we have this autism. And if you've ever lived with a child with autism, it is so hard on the family. It's so difficult. And so we need to find out what is causing this. And um, so Trump was questioning the Cobra strikes on that. So that's interesting. Um, that makes me think that he was trying to get to a bottom of a huge, huge business plan that is like 100 years old. And well, I think they did not like that about him. I don't think so. So anyway, Kim.com, who lives in New Zealand, says he failed to drain the swamp. Um, I don't know. I have I think he has exposed the swamp. Okay? He has exposed the swamp. He is not the Trinity. So wow. Um, he failed to drain the swamp. Wow. Looking at all those years, I'm amazed that he even survived, that he prevailed, I survived, and I think he will prevail, meaning that he lived through it, right? And appointed the very neocon warmongers that he says he's going to obliterate. I think he tried to play his cards. I think he tried to play a game with them. And I think that he thought that he could control them better, these insiders, these very, very wicked insiders. And I think that bit him. But, we've all made that mistake. He let the snake in, and the snake bit him. But he knew they were snakes when he let them in. So, he should have taken his own advice. He should have listened. He should have read that story a few more times about the snake, the sick snake. Anyway, if the deep state feels seriously threatened by Trump, they will terminate him just like they did JFK. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. We will see. I think there are so many things happening that are so interesting, and I think that his support is so big, and yours truly. I did not really even know who Donald Trump was in 2015. I heard him briefly because of his show or whatever, but here we are living in Europe, and I'm not a big TV watcher. And even though right now I'm watching In the Heat of the Night, I'm really enjoying that. I'm enjoying that series. It's, little short episodes, but they are very powerful. I'm enjoying that. But no, I'm not the biggest TV watcher. A good movie, yeah. But anyway, I didn't know who he was, and really. And so when he announced that he was going to run for president, and I like economics, right? And he came down that escalator, and he was doing this speech and said, I am going to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. I went, who in the world is this man? Who in the world is this man? He just called out our deficit with Mexico. He just called out, I'm going to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. He just called out the deficits, not only with Mexico, but with all the countries. It was like, why would he make Mexico pay for it? Right? Well, because we're in deficit with them $50 billion a year. We are in more deficit with China. So, and he was saying China. That's because we always owe them so much money, including our own debt. So we're in deficit with these countries, and that's what he was doing. And they turned it in the media as being racist. And I thought, what are you talking about? That's nothing. That's nothing. That is so shallow. That kind of thinking is so shallow. He is calling out the deficits that we have with these countries. Mexico's absolutely beautiful. The history is amazing. It's not racist. And we love our Mexican food. We love our Mexican neighbors. We love them.
And so this is not racist. This is all about economics. And the people in the know knew that. And the people that were not in the know, they were hypnotized by the media calling it a racist statement. It was ridiculous. And I knew that they didn't like him. I knew that, and so what I did is I was like, oh my gosh, he just got on the bad side of all of these people with business plans that they like to do this extortion, they like to do this money laundering and all this stuff. And who is this guy? So what I did is I looked up his financials. I wanted to know, what were Trump's financials? What had he accomplished in his life? What did he build? And I've posted them, and they're on Find Richard Halliday. You can go look at Trump's financials. What I found in 2015. Now I don't know what they are today, but I kept them. I saved them from 2015, and they are amazing. I said, oh my gosh, I am voting for this man. I am voting for this man. We looked at his financials and we went, wowzer, this man, he might not be a perfect man, but he knows how to build something. He knows how to create something. He knows how to make things happen. And we haven't had a president like that. So let's do it. Let's do it. And we haven't regretted it. These people in business, these politicians, of course, it's one big club and we ain't in it, kind of thing. I understand all of that. But what Trump said at CPAC today was very interesting about Florida. We were living in Florida during the election for DeSantis. We voted for DeSantis also because Trump backed him. And you have to remember the opposing person was, DeSantis just won by the hair of his chinny chin. And the opposing was really up to no good. Really up to no good. Was caught in a homosexual cult, like drug homosexual in cult scene, orgy scene, in a hotel. It was no good. It was no good. This was right after the election. And DeSantis just won. Can you imagine? So I don't know. But we have to weigh inch by inch. I'm an inch by inch person, morsel by morsel, inch by inch, morsel by morsel. Otherwise, yard by yard is too hard, right? Inch by inch is a cinch. Yard by yard is too hard. So if I am going to do my garden, I'm taking one little piece at a time. I'm trying to finish one project at a time. I try to worry about things day to day, even though I have a bigger picture in my mind. Of course, when we lived at Drum Row, I did the whole plan for our home and our land, and inch by inch, we tried to put that through. We created like a little paradise there. It was absolutely beautiful. And so when it comes from Richard, it's like day to day, inch by inch. Let's, I don't need to have it all at one time. What I want is to find my son. And, I've been given all this advice that I could reach more people. I could have a boom and people seeing everything. I know that I've been shadow banned. I know that I've been censored. I was censored today. But I just feel like even the stars in their course fought against Sisera. There is I love that quote from Judge Deborah, from Deborah in the book of Judges. And I just think, if I just keep going, if Rob and I keep going one foot in front of the other, we will expose more and more and more of what happened. And sooner or later, it will lead us inch by inch, morsel by morsel, Operation Hansel and Gretel. It will lead us to Richard. And And the people that come on regularly, um, I thank you so much for sticking with this. We're at 954 days. And so I just feel like even in politics, uh, things do not change uh, on a dime. Can they change on a dime? Yes. Have they changed on a dime? Yes. Hitler changed Germany on a dime. 4 years, they went from the Weimar Republic, extreme hyperinflation, wheelbarrows full of money, to a challenge to Great Britain economically in the Industrial Revolution. But was that sponsored? What was the real true history with that? I don't know. Um, but I just think most things happen, and it's like children. It's like raising children. Every day, every day. Let's get up every day. Say good morning. Say thank you. Say you're welcome. Be polite. Don't do that. Do this. Da 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 da. Every day, it's we have to, as mothers, as fathers, we have to lead our children into their adulthood and train them in the way they should go. And and when they get older, they shall not depart from it. And that is another verse that keeps me very confident in Richard. And when the CID and the military police guard mount senior leader is smearing Richard, I'm like, wait a minute. Train up a child in the way they should go. When they get older, they shall not depart from it. You see, that's why they want our children, because they can groom our children into these sex cult participants. They can groom our children into child sex stardom for these porn videos. They can groom our children into being the producers, into being the body hunters or whatever. They can groom for people to accept this, to normalize the crimes, to normalize the drugs, to normalize the absolute human violations, the crimes against humanity. They can groom. They can not only groom, they can also hypnotize. They can also, by threats, by continuing to retaliate through just the destruction. Look at what all they were doing to President Trump with the banking. He went through so many IRS audits in 2015. This is another reason why I thought, I think I like him. He went through 10 IRS audits. Okay. How many IRS audits has Pelosi ever been through? Okay. That told me something. He has been through 10, and this is in 2015. I'm sure he's been through audits since then also. And his businesses are huge. His financials are huge. They're all over the world. All over the world. And so I just think for someone that has that kind of knowledge, that has been through something like that, and then I look at the alternative, and so you have to make a decision. And I'm not an anarchist. I'm going to participate. Okay? I'm going to participate. I'm not going to anticipate or ignore or say, I couldn't be bothered. I'm not going to do that. I am going to participate, and I'll take the lumps. If I make the wrong decision, I'll take the lumps. This is being a responsible citizen. This is being a responsible adult to make those decisions. Now, when there's foul play, even in our elections, that is a little bit unnerving. And so, and I know that through World War II also with Hitler, my Oma would tell me that they had no choice. When they walked into the voting room, they were given a paper. Hitler's name was already crossed out, and they only were allowed, the brown shirts were all around, to fold up the paper and put it in the box. So, messing with elections is not anything new, right? It's not like, oh my gosh, there's fraud. Of course, there's always fraud. We have so much cheating. Even in our universities, we have cheating to the degree you wouldn't even expect it. There's so much, maybe you would. There's so much cheating in our universities. So there's a real problem with our education system, and even the legitimacy of it, the accreditation. The accreditation is a joke. So here I am. I'm telling you my views, and it burns bridges because people are like, oh my gosh, she's a J6er. No, I heard that if you were tear gas, my mom was telling me this today. Pat, you need to look into it. I think there's going to be some kind of case with people, a class action suit about people that were tear gassed during January 6, 2021 at the Capitol. And I'm like, ooh, because, I have it recorded that we were tear gassed. So I was live streaming and said I was tear gassed. So, yeah, I need to look into that. So things inch by inch, morsel by morsel. God will bring those morsels. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, right? You never know what you're going to get. And you have to put it together to decipher this case, Richard's case. So, yeah. Yeah, so Kim.com also said this. 2024 election is too far away. The U.S. proxy war in Ukraine will likely escalate into a direct NATO war with Russia this year, leading to World War III and a possible nuclear confrontation. There isn't much time unless we see major civil unrest in the U.S. and Europe. The course is set. I'm not for anarchy. I'm not for civil unrest. I went to January 6th, very peaceful intent. I had communication with Lieutenant General Donna Martin the night before. She absolutely knows our stand. She probably recorded it. We have it on record that we were going there to pass out the flyers for the missing soldier. We went there to pass out prayer candles for our son, Richard Halliday, who is the very first CONUS Dust 1 missing soldier in U.S. Army history under the Vanessa Guillen, the new Vanessa Guillen absent soldier flowchart. So, we made that very clear. I live streamed from there. I videotaped from there. I should have done more. But I was busy talking to people. And anyway, so do I think, am I afraid of nuclear war? No. Am I afraid of bombs? Well, I know they do a lot of damage, but not as much damage as the COVID-19 fraud psyop did on the world. Okay? Not as much damage as the porn industry has done on the world. Not as much damage as the illegal drug, fentanyl, whatever damage that has been done on the world. The nuclear confrontation is nothing compared to the child sex trafficking damage that it has done on our family, the drugs that it has done on our family, the psychological warfare on everybody that makes them PTSD, depressed, puts them on psychological medication, mental medication, and all of that. Not as much damage as these Cobra strikes, all of them that have made so many people have to live with one illness after the other, and parents have to live with children with disabilities. It's very, very tough. So I just not too long ago, my father passed away, and he was totally disabled, and we needed to care for him. It was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. And R.I.P. Dad. I would do it again. I would do it for years for you. And of course, we do that for our children. We do that for our parents. And yeah, but it doesn't make it easy. It doesn't make it easy. It was not easy. So, but so I don't know if Kim.com right then and there, this second tweet that he did, I think he's mistaken. I think he's mistaken. So if he's mistaken on the second tweet, I think he's mistaken on the drain the swamp kind of comment too. So yeah, I'm more in favor of President Trump than Kim.com, and I respect both. I respect both. So and what they've done and the harassment that they have been under. So yeah, I just think I have to participate with society. You know, I'm not going to mask myself and stand 6 feet away, but also I need to not give up my relationship with my family, with my grandchildren, with enjoying life. So you have to balance things out. I read, and I'm trying to think of the name, and it's going to come to me. It was a minister, I think of the ninth, Buddy, no. It's going to come to me. But anyway, he was so busy trying to do his ministry, trying to share the gospel, that he forgot his own family. And this was a really, really impactful book to me because what a great guy. But the family had a lot of problems because of that. And his sons had a lot of problems because of that. His name will come to me. But anyway, but it was a lesson learned that even through what you think is super important for people, it's so important for people to know that Richard was trying to expose many for child sex trafficking. That he went to the Child Protective Services, that the IG were all over the barracks because of Halliday, that he's missing, that he was a whistleblower, that they didn't contact family, that they used asymmetric warfare tactics, military operations, like send a senior leader to the military police to do such a smear job, groundless smear job on Richard, that even the military police would not even want to find him, and even tried to dissuade others from even looking for him. I think that's totally criminal. Also, the military operations with the canine to tell us that they had a canine sniffing for the remains of Richard, and that being a hoax because they have never delivered the name of the canine, the coach, the trainer of the canine, and so. And then of course the task force Find Richard Halliday, which never had an op board. So they never intended us to even, they never intended those 15 plus agencies to look for Richard. So what were they covering up? What were they covering up? And we know it's very important to get out there so extremely and let everyone know this over and over and over again. But also you have to juggle that you do have, I mean, I have 8 grandbabies, I'm so excited. I love them. And even President Trump was like, we need to have a baby boom. We need to have a baby boom. And I was like, ooh, I'm on his side with that because I've been screaming that for a while too. We need to have a baby boom. Babies are just awesome, and they need to be treated with respect and honor and dignity and care and love and gentleness and patience. So much patience, because babies are difficult. Little kids are difficult. You have to have a lot of patience, and but it is just so awesome, so awesome. And it's such an important job. The hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world, right? My Oma told me that. She goes, never be tired of being a mom. The hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world. And so it's really, really important that we enjoy our children and our families and strengthen our families. And so I think that's what President Trump was trying to say is we need to strengthen family. So, yeah, I was very, there's so much vision um, in his speech. And I listened to a lot of CPAC. You know, most politicians are all like, they just have so much hot air, or they're just totally wicked. Like our representative, William Timmons, totally wicked, wicked man, who I will campaign against yeah, I will campaign against him, and also Lindsey Graham, just very selfish, wicked people. So, yeah, if you have any questions about CPAC, if you have any questions about Richard, we are still working behind the scenes. We're waiting on a few things. Um, uh, the military was infiltrated. The military is infiltrated. The military is infiltrated with the worst types of crimes. And this is the buck stops with the 44 four-star generals and admirals, because we know that this has been long going on, and they are working for foreign and domestic enemies. They're the ones that decide to betray. They're the ones that are the treason. That have committed treason. They're the ones that have committed the crimes against humanity, because it was the DOD that they're the ones that fund it. They're the ones that organize it. They're the ones that make the op ord. Yeah, so these 44 four-star generals, they need to be investigated. They need to be audited. And we really need to discuss the death penalty seriously, because I can't even tell you, the damage is way more than any nuclear war, okay? The damage, and we don't even know the extent of the damage, because, you know, some people are saying 50 trillion. But how do you measure the damage that they've done? How do you measure the damage? It's just, it's so bad. I don't think Chernobyl cost 50 trillion. I don't think Fukushima cost 50 trillion. Fukushima, you could go there. You could go visit. Y'all, we've been so lied to. Go watch Galen Windsor. Go watch Galen Windsor. And, you know, the other thing, too, that aggravates me about these politicians is they think it's necessary to lie to us to control us. They want to control the masses. This is what politicians want. They want to control you so that you vote for them, right? And so is that what President Trump is doing to me? I don't know. I'm just trying to participate. I know there's still hypnosis there, and little, well, there's still hypnosis there. And, but I just feel like I've been looking at everybody and everything, what they stand for, and he's the man. He is the man that I will campaign for. And I will probably campaign for him. It would take a major disaster on his point for us to not vote for him. Okay, so I think that we need to get this election going, right? We need to get a fair election going. And I know, you know, I could stipulate in the letter, President Trump, let's meet. This is pretty much the letter. Let's meet so we can discuss how to find our son so that we could support you. But I will tell you, Richard's case is so convoluted, and it includes the border, and it includes drugs, and it includes human trafficking, and it includes child pornography, and it includes so many other things. It's so complicated. It needs to come out, and it will come out. See, something this complicated, it will come out. Whether President Trump wants it to come out or not, it's going to come out. And the whole, censoring me because I'm a concerned mother, that makes me a domestic terrorist. Because I say the germ theory is trash, because I say Darwin's theory is trash, because I think I know that the moon, I just took some pictures tonight with my grandsons. I know the moon is not solid. I know it's not, and it gives off its own light. It has its own light. The light that was given from God. It's not a reflection of the sun, that's for sure. So, and I know that, and that means that a big agency that takes $55 to $58 million a day is a fraud. Is a fraud. And so, yeah, there needs to be a lot of restitution. A lot of restitution. Maybe inch by inch, like I said. Inch by inch. And he did say that the Department of Education needs to be over, done with, out of here, history. And I totally agree. Because, this is where our hypnosis comes in. Oh, the schools are so great. The schools are so great. The schools are so great. Okay. Where is the art? Where is the architecture? Where are the star forts being built? Where is the energy? Where is the free energy? Where is the new patents? Where are they? Where are they? Where is the new ways to create roads and to create buildings and to create food and to create whatever? If our schools are so good, why are we, I think we're worse off than when I was in high school. Where is our infrastructure? If our schools are that good, where's the fruit? Where's the fruit? And so I think that they have totally failed the Department of Education, and they need to be fired. They need to be closed down. We need to find another way for our children. And I really believe that too. So that makes me also maybe not popular. I don't know. And you know what? I have to keep one bridge I can't bring down, and that's with my triune God. Okay? And that's another thing. Yes, triune God. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. That bridge I cannot burn down. I cannot blaspheme. I cannot not stand up for, not support. The laws of God, they're love. They are love. They are truth. They are the way. And so the sacraments, that's life. That's the foundation of social order. Right? The councils and the creeds, they're the foundation of social order. And so that I cannot burn down. But all the evil stuff, I will call out. Absolutely, I will call out. So, here we go. I'm going to take questions now. If there's any. Sometimes there's questions, other times there's just love. Okay. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Anicia. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Donna. And a special thank you to Danielle for that article. You did send me that a very important article about children being found dead. And then I know there's some things going on in El Paso. That's always good.
good shares, I should say, because I want to know what's going on in El Paso. And yeah, so we need to pray for these children that Child Protective Services were supposed to be protecting. They were supposed to be helping. We know that Child Protective Services has not answered our FOIAs, and you would think that a lot of children in these 2+ years that we've been waiting to get Richard's complaints that could have been helped have suffered during these 2 years. Can you imagine? For them being silent, for them not answering our FOIAs, how many children have been groomed and trafficked into child porn and being sold and being broadcasted, being airdropped down onto soldiers, service members, and their families' phones. And please God, do not let these children be the family members of active duty soldiers. That is, please God, do not let that be true. So we're working on a lot of things behind the scenes, and we really need you to share that you're our recourse. You are our team, Find Richard Halliday. You are the voice. You are the power. You're the dominion. You're the dominion through God. So to share, write letters, give us suggestion about petitions, because we need to petition Fort Bliss to give us Richard's legal files, because they are just putting up a wall, just like Child Protective Services are putting up a wall for Richard's complaints. They are putting up a wall. They don't want us to get Richard's legal file. So we'll see what we can do. But this case of these children being found in a house that were under the protection of Child Protective Services, 3 of them being found dead, 2 taken to a hospital, 5 of them siblings, and it really hit a nerve. I will be honest with you, Danielle, it really did hit a nerve, because Richard is number 3 of 5 children, and we put in paperwork for 3 children when we wanted to adopt. Okay, 3 children. We were wanting 2 boys. Okay, but if there was a third, we would take 3. So that's the if it was 2 boys and a girl, or 3 boys, but we wanted 2 boys. And the reason why is because we had 2 girls, and they have each other. And we didn't want to have 1 boy and 2 sisters that have always had each other. We wanted the 2 boys that they would always have. They wouldn't be outnumbered, And so absolutely, we had to have 2 boys, not just 1 boy. And so we put in for 3. And that's why it was really kind of heartbreaking, because I spent a month with Robert and Richard's sister, taking care of her. She was calling me mama. She was calling me mama for a month. I can't tell you, that was probably the hardest part of the whole adoption, was letting her go. I just legally, that was absolutely super difficult, but she was being adopted by another family at the same time, with the little brother, because it was a family of 5, and then the youngest had a different daddy and was not up for adoption. So for 5 children, and you want to keep them all together, but like I said, Robert, Richard, their sister, they were already older, and in Poland, you will just grow up in the orphanage, and of course, anyway, we were fortunate to be Robert and Richard's parents. We made promises to Richard.
And so we're looking for them. And how the military could be so cold-blooded and teach and groom our service members to be so cold-blooded with one with another. No esprit de corps, no Medal of Honor ethos. Even not to be, we're America. We don't want to be even cold-blooded to our enemies. We want to fight hard and we want to win. And we know there is a just war. There is a way to conduct war. And we have really, really let God down on that front. Really has. We've become so inhumane. And that has seeped into our own ranks, our own military. And they're so inhumane. And the crime is just incredible. And I don't know how else to say it. So maybe you can find some words for me and pass this around. We need help. We need help to find Richard, little by little, any little bit. And we have it all. We just need courage. We need someone with courage. And I heard someone say, I think earlier today, courage is the foundation for all other virtues. There's no other virtues without courage. And yeah. So strap on your boots. Put on your full armor of God and be courageous. And we will find, inch by inch, morsel by morsel, we will find out what happened to Richard. And we're so close. We've been so close for so long. So the politics has to be right, of course, the politics. And this is all very, very political. Very political. It's all about politics. And look at what the representative in El Paso did to us. Did to Rob. Veronica Escobar. Wow. The crimes are just unbelievable. So please pass this on. And you were such good parents to Richard. He loved you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Right, that's my last message from Richard. Him saying he loves me. Yep. So I can't lie about that. And the CID knows it too. And the FBI and everybody that hacks in and all of the vile and vulgar. That's another thing I wanted to talk about is, one of these phone calls went right to a very, very, very important government building. And the other to Santa Clara, California, where that's the Intel hub. And I'll do a live stream just on where these traces went to, where they led to. And how it's been crickets. They don't care. So it's very political. So we need courage. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will be back tomorrow. And God willing. Okay.